Crypto Marxist, aka Bone Army, coming at you live. So, as you guys know, the markets are looking a little red, but I decided to jump on real quick because, as you guys know, a lot of times the markets are green, and then you have all these YouTubers, all these influencers coming on and letting you guys know, oh, it's going up. Well, you know what? I decided to come on because I want to let you guys know that the dip is in, my people. That's right. The dip is in. A lot of people miss the dip, and I'm letting you know that the dip, in my opinion, and you can see my chart. I have my charts up. I mean, I should sell some of this info low key because my charts low key are banger. The absolute lowest that Bitcoin can go right now would be $73,000. Okay, $73,000. Do I see that happening? I'm gonna be honest. I do not see that happening. In fact, I think that the 75,110 dollars was most likely the lowest it's gonna go. It could test it. I don't see a lower wick coming, honestly, within the next 2-hour time frame. So that being said, I think right now, of course, not financial advice. Once again, not financial advice. I am not telling you what to do. I am just telling you what I would do if I was you. Literally what I'm doing. So we see Bitcoin right now sitting at $78,537. All right, that is about 3,000 above the lowest wick. That right there shows a lot of support at 75,000. A lot of experts were saying that the bottom was going to be about 76,500. 76,500. I have my lowest at between 73 and actually 68.9. All right, so mine is a little bit more conservative, simply because I understand that some of the biggest whales are now in the game, in the crypto game, where before this was a haven by which people could come and find out, well, you know, is there another economy outside of the fiat prison that a lot of people find themselves in? Well, crypto is that hedge against inflation. Of course, now that we have some big dogs inside of crypto, we understand that now is probably the time for people to position themselves. When you see plays like Bone Shiba Swap at 23 cents, all right, at 23 cents. And I really need to just keep moving these over because you guys will see how resilient they are. Every time there's a dip, there's a strong bounce. Dip, strong bounce. So this dip right now, expect, in fact, if I was to just copy this, and I do have like a little thing I want to tell you guys as well. Here, slide this over here. Slide this over here. So essentially, you guys have seen what has happened every time a dip is in. Boom, boom, boom. So here we are, basically. Here we are. And there was one right here. So actually, I should say there was one here. And you can see basically the tip right there of that. I really should continue that just so you guys can see that each dip has a corresponding recovery when the play is strong. If the play isn't strong, it's only going to keep going down, 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 down. You know what I mean? Here, let me make sure it has to be here. All right, so there it is. All right, so let me go ahead and actually go to Twitter because I want to see what Lucy has to say. Of course, if you don't know about Lucy, she is the main marketer for the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Satoshi Kusama being the leader of the SHIB army. All right. So when you guys see these plays that really come about, in my opinion, once every 4 years, if even that. With plays like this that are so solid. In fact, I'm gonna tell you something. I have not seen a play as solid as SHIBA INU and its entire ecosystem. Of course, you guys know that the entire SHIBA INU ecosystem is made up of SHIB, leash, bone, treat, the Shiboshis, both the male and the female ones, being the males being the first NFT collection, females being the second NFT collection for the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Full technology stack, ShibOS, full metaverse coming, actually already available for you guys. So if you guys are into the metaverse, check out shib.io, find out how you can slide in there. There is 1.5 million holders total for Shiba Inu. And of course, if you are keeping up with the Shibarium ecosystem, you know that when you come to shibariumscan.io, you come over here and you see this right here, over 10.3 million blocks. But not only that, it's 1,024,517,538 transactions. So in other words, 1.02 billion transactions already accomplished on the Shibarium blockchain, which is the ecosystem for the Shiba Inu. All right, so there we have part of what is almost like Voltron forming, coming together. Because at the end of the day, what does this lead to? It leads to the Shiba state, my people, the first perpetual digital network state. Okay, this is basically like the white hats coming together and trying to form Shiba state, digital social network state, in opposition to what's happening right now with techno feudalism. Okay, if you don't know about that, we can definitely get into that. I don't want to get too political, but I did want to tell you guys, that because a lot of people are down because the crash is here and they feel like they've been wrung out, right? But the crypto crash is here. Everything is going according to plan. Do not fumble your bags, my people. Trust me. I want to tell you this, all right? Crypto and the global markets are, of course, melting down, all right? But don't panic. This crash is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater, and that's how I want you to think about it, all right? What we're seeing right now isn't a collapse, all right? It's more like a reset, if you will. A chance to realign, refocus, and position ourselves as the Bone Army, the Treat Army, for the next massive wave, okay? The next green candles that are about to start forming. This is like your last super big discount before everything starts going, before the markets start moving, before interest rates start getting cut, before liquidity starts coming into the global money supply, M2. All right, so every great opportunity in history has come during moments of fear, and this is no different. The strongest hands are built in times like these. Do not get shaken out. Shiba Inu, Bone, and the entire decentralized movement are laying the foundation for the future. And those who stay grounded and informed, if you don't know about me, I go by Crypto Marxist, aka Bone Army. Gonna give you the lowdown. I'ma never cap you guys. I'ma try to give you guys the most unfiltered, raw information to help you position yourself so that you can make the most return on your investment. This is not financial advice. This is not investment advice. I just want you to understand my position. And if my position helps you maybe see something Of course, like I'm telling you, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I would do if I was you. All right. And of course, once again, Shibarium, SHIBOS, and of course, the Shiba state is the future, in my opinion. So those who stay focused and consistent will be the ones who rise with it. I do believe this. This is a blessing in disguise. So I just want to tell you guys that might be down because the market is down. You know what I mean? I want you to stay strong. I want you to stay positive because I believe we are going to make it. All right? Trust me. I do believe we're going to make it. Right now, fear is in there. Charts are red. Portfolios are down. And it feels like the sky is falling for some of you guys, especially after getting drained for so many months, right? The bull market is coming. The bull market's about to take off. Meme season's about to come. Now it's, alt season, etc. Pump fund, everything is moving, but yet it crashes back down. But this is exactly how it always feels right before the next massive wave. All right? The next bout of success that's about to happen, this is almost according to plan. The markets are shaking out weak hands, my people. We need to be the diamond hands, all right? We can't be the doubters. We can't be the paper chasers, the paper hands. Nah, not us. Not the ones who truly believe in what we're building. And that is, of course, the Bone Army, the SHIB Army, the Treat Army, the Leash Army, the Shiboshi Army, goddammit, the Bad Brigade, the Bad Army, the K9ers, the K9 Army. And once again, this isn't just about numbers going up. This is about a decentralized perpetual movement. We're talking about Ryoshi's vision. This is a revolution in finance and cryptography, ownership, and freedom. A lot of you guys don't see it, and it's okay. So I want you guys to understand, if you do feel kind of down, I want you to understand that this is bigger than just numbers go up. Even though, of course, that is very important to all of us. That is the primary reason why a lot of you guys are here. I get that. Now, what I'm going to tell you is be reassured that Shibarium, SHIBOS, and the Shiba state, along with its vanguard leadership led by Shaitoshi, sorry. Thank you, Ryoshi, for founding this project and handing the torch over to someone as capable as Shaitoshi, who continuously gets funded left and right, but continues to deliver without a budget. I hear a lot of people trying to do their projects and they need a budget. But you know what? When you have a community, when you have knowledge, when you have a will to accomplish something, nothing can stop you. And that is what I believe the Shiba Inu team and this entire ecosystem represents. All right. So once again, this right here, Shiba Inu and its ecosystem, which I told you is SHIB, Bone, Leash, Treat, the partnerships, the Shiboshis, K9, Bad Idea, Wellies, basically the Shibarium army, as I like to say, and the upcoming SHIBOS and Shiba State aren't going anywhere, as I keep telling you guys. All right. So, in fact, as you guys know, they're just getting started. They just inked up a deal with the United Arab Emirates. So as you guys might be looking at your portfolio, looking kind of down, looking like it's on the ground, needing some CPR, what I would say is don't fret. I would probably say DCA is probably your best opportunity right now, your best option right now. Don't get down. Now, if you don't have enough to DCA, like me, I wish I could DCA. And of course, the times it is lowest is when I'm most out of liquidity. All right. But regardless, just understand that this is a revolution. All right. That's just beginning. The foundation is stronger than ever. And while others are panicking, they see the Bitcoin dumping, they see Trump talking tariffs, they see counter tariffs, right? Real builders stay focused. And Shibarium has real builders, real believers whom are accumulating. And of course, those people right now, whether they know it or not, purchases at these prices for some of these partnerships like Bad Idea and K9. And I'm going to throw Shytoshi on Solana in there. Of course, you guys know how I feel about Solana. Do not enter Solana unless you're trying to mess with Shytoshi. That's what I'm going to say. You guys are going to be the whales. You just might not see it right now. Today's buyers will be the next bull run's whales, okay? Or in fact, you guys will be the whales later on when this peaks, all right? They're literally being born every day with each purchase. So anyways, in short, we've seen this story before. Like I told you guys, BTC crashed to 3,000. You guys remember that? And then what happened? And then it 20x'd. ETH crashed to $80. You guys remember that? And then changed the world, literally competing with Bitcoin in terms of transactions and the future of L2s and decentralization applications. Now, I believe it's our time. Straight up. If you missed Bitcoin, if you missed any, and even Ethereum, now is our time. Shiba Inu is planting the seeds of an entirely new digital economy. Community owned and of course transparent, and in my opinion, it's unstoppable. This dip, this fear, it's a gift, my people. Don't feel down. Understand that this is what you need right now. You need this gift for yourself. Take these lemons, go ahead and make a little lemonade, put a little ice in it, a little sugar in there. You know what I mean? Enjoy the fruits of your labor, because moving on these opportunities where it might be red, but deep down you know that when you zoom out and if you double down, sometimes we tend to need to even remind ourselves that we're early. All right, we're aligned, we're destined for greatness, and sometimes we don't see it. So don't fold, don't give up, hold the line, build, accumulate, get your bags up. If anything, help educate to help alleviate some of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that might be entering the hearts of some of the newer investors that might be new to crypto and are not used to a 15, 25, 40% correction. And even more if you're talking about some of these extremely risky plays, 50, 60, 70, 80% corrections. All right, remind them. All right, so once again, don't fold, because when the storm passes, and of course it always does, it always seems darkest, as they say, before the brightest. Those who stay will shine the brightest. All right, we'll make it together, my people. All right, so all right, I do want to focus on some of the prices that are out here, and of course I do want to go through some of the Twitter accounts like the Shiba token, Shytoshi, and Lucy. Maybe even check K9 Finance and Bad Idea. All right, just to see what they're up to. All right. All right. So with that, of course, once again, if you have any questions, you know what to do. So let me go ahead and just say what's up to the early dogs over here, man. You already know I appreciate a lot of you guys, and I know that the Bone Army is strong. I know the Bone Army is strong. So KC Williams, of course, man, I appreciate you. You are always one of the first ones. Not your financial advisor. Let's go. I'm buying the dip. In fact, I want to give a shout out to Not Your Financial Advisor, because he actually nailed at what price I bought Bone at last time. And not last time, when Shiba Swap dropped, and it was $15. So right now, when you guys see these prices at 25 cents for one bone. Remember, I bought it at 15 at first, all right? So I've been DCAing all the way down. So you guys think you might be down big? Think about that, all right? Just think about that. All right, cool. So we got Baja Lifer, man. Big up to the Bone Army. Baja Lifer, one of the generals. So not your financial advisor. BTC dominance is at 63%, highest it's been since 2021 bull run. It might actually touch 65, and if it continues, maybe even 70%, believe it or not. Before, if it does touch 70%, I think it's going to dip down, and it is going to make altcoins absolutely explode. All right, Bone, great buying opportunity. Absolutely. Dave D, 3 rocket ships. Absolutely. Fire Riders on the Storm. Yes, sir. That is a banger. All right, so let's go ahead and quickly see the Twitter accounts. All right, so Shiba Inu's main account is this one. If you haven't already followed it, go ahead and follow it. Shiba Inu, of course, official Twitter of Shiba Inu ecosystem. SHIB, Leash, Bone, Shiboshi, and Treat, SHIB.io, of course, only official sources. All right, March 19th, milestone alert. It says the hashtag SHIB army is now 1.5 million strong. That's bigger than the armies of France, Germany, and the UK combined. It's also larger than entire countries like Estonia and Cyprus. We're not just a community, we're a nation. All right, understand that. DeLorean Labs, big news time travelers. The DeLorean Lab DMC experience just leveled up. We're now on Discord, exclusive channels for time capsule holders, DMC ambassadors, build slot and alpha club members, and a hub for deep discussions, exclusive insights, and next level community engagement. Whether you're here for alpha epic collabs or just vibing with fellow DeLorean pioneers, this is the place to be. Don't miss out and join now. That is at discord.gg/DeLorean Labs. Be a part of the future Discord. Join now. This, if you guys haven't already heard, DeLorean Labs, yes, the DeLorean Labs from Back to the Future, okay, they did a collaboration with Shiba Inu. And in fact, there's going to be DeLoreans in the Shiba Inu metaverse. Okay, this is the official DeLorean Motor Company, all right, DeLorean Labs, all right. This is their Web3 account, and they plan on driving the future with DMC, building on Sui, all right. So this is why I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on Shiba Inu, because they are reaching out across blockchains, across tokens. Why? Because Shiba Inu has always understood one thing. This isn't about which token is the number one token and every other token falls behind. This isn't about blockchain number one, every other blockchain go down. No, this is about Shiba Inu and their entire Vanguard team, understanding that the future of Web3 and what will be driving innovation will be interoperability. So when we look at SHIB.io, and we see that they've inked a partnership with Chainlink. That's right, Chainlink. We know that they are not messing around, okay? Because of that partnership, now Shiba Inu is actually on 14 different blockchains, okay? Not a token named Shiba Inu launched by the same team, unrelated. No, as a total. And once this goes, trust me, you guys are gonna see the power of Shiba Inu and the Shibarium blockchain as what I believe, and of course this is where I speculate a little, but as I believe, the unified settlement blockchain layer of all of crypto. All right, everybody can have their fun in the sun, but they can all settle and have finality on the Shibarium ecosystem. All right, with that, I do, full disclosure, I do hold one of these actually two of these time capsules on SUI, and I suggest you guys do too. Just throwing it out there, not financial advice. All right, so let's go ahead and swing out of. Okay, they got it. Back to the Future. What's this? Celebrate 40 years with us. It's Saturday. Grab a friend or a beloved one and watch Back to the Future, starting the legendary Doc Brown Lord, and of course the iconic DeLorean time machine. That's kind of banger. Ambassadors, repping DFC. Drive our Web3 mission with passion. Create or host content or events. Your call. Full speed. Grab rewards. All right, we'll see what this is about. I might have to do a little content. We'll see. It looks like they might have. Is this T-Pain? Wait. What? When? No, wait. Hold up. Let's see what this is about.
My calculations are correct.
Hold on. Let me stop the mute. Stop the music, everybody. Let's see what this is about real quick. Let me. Hold up. All right, cool. Let's see what this is about. Of course, T-Pain. If you don't know about T-Pain, hip hop artist. All right, let's see what this is about.
My calculations are correct.
Let me just say once again, I'm sorry to interrupt this. Shiba Inu has partnered with DeLorean. So there was 8,888 total time capsules, okay, in the form of NFTs. Some of them, one person was going to win, I believe, the DeLorean. Another person had an opportunity to win some Shiba Inu NFTs with Shiba cows. And there's different stuff like even Nikes that are DMC Nikes. So with that said, this is related to Shiba Inu. If you don't know, because a lot of people think Shiba Inu is just one token. They don't understand it's an entire ecosystem that's actually partnering with other ecosystems in order to bring in not just innovation and adoption, but all three through interoperability. All right, so let's go. My bad, T-Pain. I owe you a drink.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of the old valley. History is gonna change. There's nothing to be scared of. All it takes is a little self-confidence. You know, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it. Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads?
What did that say?
We don't need roads.
But your kids are gonna.
Back to Wisconsin, part 4.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? We don't need roads.
All right, so Nappy Boy Entertainment presents Back to Wisconsin, part 4, a T-Pain performance. He said he could put her in a mansion. He said he'd be somewhere in Wisconsin. Then one day, Wisconsin was everywhere. Back to Wisconsin, part 4, starring T-Pain, Fade, Keisha Cole, Pusha T, Wale, Jermaine Dupri, DJ Diesel, Shaq. Somebody that got crossed out either because they're not there anymore on the roster, or because they are yet to be announced or confirmed. Entity Choppa, another person or artist or group that also yet to be announced or has been canceled. Cash Doll, Dreezy, Prof, Durand, Bernard, Armani White, DJ Mando, Mando, yeah, and Nile X Nile. All right, cool. So I guess that's some kind of collabo that they're doing. So that actually shows kind of a situation where they are actually marketing pretty dope. So let's see what this is right here, and then we'll get stuff. I'm gonna be rocking.
See, Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Wait, what? Oh, no
Messenger of God, you're doomed if you stay here.
Yeah, keep saying. Was that a cobra? All right, let me go ahead and pause it just before I get, you know what I mean? You know how that goes. All right, cool. So that looks like, once again, see, that's was, they were warned, they bought something, and I didn't read the top. Claim site open for airdrop NFT holders. Oh, snap. Wait, hold on. What's this? Walrus. DMC coming soon. Oh, make sure you guys do that. I got a nice little notable projects on Sui. That's banger. All right, that's fire because I actually got an airdrop from the same thing, from the Phantom wallet, but it was for Penguin. So if you are a holder of or have used the Phantom wallet, let's say last bull run, you might actually have a Penguin airdrop waiting for you. Just throwing that out there for you guys. All right, cool. So let's move back to what's happening over here. And like I told you guys, 1 billion transactions. Shibarium absolutely smashing a lot of other blockchains that have been struggling to get traction. All right, so I have to give it up to Shibarium because I myself have done over 1,000 transactions on Shibarium alone, and there is no other blockchain I've done that many transactions in. And the reason that is because the transaction cost is so small. You can literally do a bunch of transactions with one bone. I'm talking about 0.001 bone, regardless of the price of bone, at least right now. All right, so let's do a couple more, and then we'll see what the price of SHIB is, and then we'll go back to Bitcoin. Then we'll see what the price of SHIB is, and we'll continue checking some of the ecosystem. So Shibarium hits 1 billion transactions 18 months in. Our L2 proves the power of decentralization, innovation, and the unstoppable SHIB army. 10 million blocks, 1 billion transactions. All right, never selling. All right, so that's from March 28th. That looks like, all right, and of course the ambassador. So I have to check that out. Apply now and join something epic. Maybe we'll see what this is. The fact it's even like SHIB Army and DeLorean Labs ready to help drive the future of Web3, host epic events, craft killer content. It's your time to shine with DMC. Apply now and join something iconic. The thing is, I don't even edit. That's the one problem with my content. All right, cool. So let's go now to see what Shaitoshi has on his page real quick, because I think it's mostly what I covered on the last one of the last lives, second to last lives. So of course this is the iconic meeting that between the SHIB army and the United Arab Emirates. The unprecedented, as they say, is the only word that describes the new partnership. It is an honor to work alongside and this right here is the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure of the United Arab Emirates in the world's #1 crypto location, the UAE. Lots more coming soon, and they did have a banger video. If you guys haven't seen it, honestly,
now is the moment to unlock the next era.
Let me play
for
it
the
for
first
you.
time. A nation integrates SHIB OS into its core infrastructure. The United Arab Emirates Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure and SHIBA INU, united in the future of digital infrastructure, a partnership built on innovation, AI, and Web3 technology. SHIBA INU Treat unlocks SHIB OS. AI-driven, decentralized, built for nations, AI, smart cities, blockchain, 36 chambers of technology unlocked. Transparent, eco-friendly, AI-driven collaboration powered by SHIB. For the first time, blockchain and AI unite at a national scale. The UAE MOE and SHIB partnership is here. Welcome to the future. Now,
all right, yes, sir. That's right. So, see, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. This right here isn't your average play. This is because Shiba Inu, if you don't know, is a country. Shiba Inu is a country. It's called the Shiba state. Okay, and this Shiba state has tried to fulfill the protocols that make a country. There's certain protocols that make a country a country. If you want to found a country, how do you do it? Well, you need a couple of criteria. You need, first of all, a population. You can't have a country if you don't have anyone. Secondly, you need a way to account for the people in a census. And another thing is you need to be able to do transactions, GDP, with other countries, okay? Because if you don't have a diplomatic, economic, social, and political structure, it's impossible for you to be a country, all right? So these are some of the requirements that they have been trying to accomplish, all right? They've been trying to do it through the SHIB metaverse, I believe, as well as the digital land that might qualify as that. But if not, they have a couple plays under their sleeve. That's all I'm gonna tell you. All right, cool. So this one right here is worth reading, but it's pretty long. So if you haven't already followed Satoshi Kusama, the world's most elite Web3 and meme-tastic visionary, of course, best known for Shiba Inu and the heights that he's taken it to, even though he receives so much FUD, and the partnership, because that partnership that you guys see right here is the partnership with a country. In other words, that is the first country that has partnered with Shiba Inu. Why is that important? Because Shiba Inu has technology that is, are you ready for this? Quantum proof. Okay, it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to actually be about it. And the last thing that it says over here, and helping SHI on Solana. What is SHI on Solana? For some reason, I can't get into the Telegram. And I have tried to reach out to the to the team, but for some reason, it is what it is. So, but still rocking with it. I was trying to let them know I was going to do a live, but since I wasn't able to get in, I did a video about Bone and SHI because the prices were so crazy low. All right, so of course the one and only SHI coin backed by Satoshi Kusama himself. This is the contract. This is the literally the only play that I hold on Solana. This is the only play. Once again, crypto Marxist, aka Bone Army. I'm Bone Army. You're Bone Army. We're Bone Army. All right. Yes, that crypto Marxist, that Bone Army owns some Solana. And the only play I own on Solana is SHI on Solana. Why is that? First of all, I respect Satoshi Kusama. And I know all the haters out there do their best to try to derail the momentum and the trailblazing nature of the team. But the reality is, what other team has done a metaverse? What other team has done a swap? Up to now, they're at version 2 of their swap, has done multiple tokens, and each token having a specific utility, a metaverse, multiple video games, not just on Apple, but on Android, on the App Store, on the Play Store, and soon via the SHIB portal. That's right, little alpha for you guys. If you haven't heard about the SHIB portal, just throwing that out there, all right? Understand that this will be powered by SHIB. This will be powered by Treat. This is going to be powered by SHIBOS. That's right. Okay, understand where this is going. All right, so let's go ahead and let me just slide back a little bit I see that they're keeping the theme. And what I'm gonna tell you is, where is it? Here it is. This sweater, first of all, is heat. They should try to release this. But there is a card game that they are producing. There's a card game that they are producing. It's called Shiluminati. So if you haven't already heard about this play called Shy on Solana, Shaitoshi, they sent, I believe, half of the supply to Shaitoshi, and Shaitoshi burnt it. All right. If you guys are wondering why they would do that and why Shy would also burn it, that's how Shiba Inu started. Ryoshi, the founder of Shiba Inu, sent Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, half of the supply of Shiba Inu. All right, that permitted some risk, and it gave an option to Vitalik Buterin to do something with that, either keep it, sell it. What he ended up doing was something that I consider moral. He ended up burning like 95% of the Shiba Inu that was sent to him. In other words, he sent it to a dead wallet where nobody can ever access it, meaning that liquidity is there forever. Okay. Next, what he did was he sent some of that to the COVID relief fund in India, and that helped with syringes and other items for that situation. Now, what I want to tell you is that gave two things. That gave credibility, it gave it an ethical and moral standard by which other projects could follow. It gave it utility when it sent it to that fund, which was also supported by the founder of Polygon Labs, okay, a layer 2 on Ethereum. And what it did was it gave it liquidity. Okay. All right. With that said, that's why they did that. So Ryoshi sent it to Vitalik, doing all that. So now this team sent the half of the supply to Shaitoshi. So looking for a meme coin that actually delivered, Shy is the one, led by Shaitoshi Kusama. Shiba Inu, and I just want to tell you, Shaitoshi Kusama is followed by 1 million people. I believe he's been throttled. I believe he's been throttled because Shiba Inu is really the only competition to Doge. And because he's on X, you guys know that there's this one person on that owns this situation over here. I myself, I'm banned permanently, all right, because I speak too much truth. And when you drop too many truth bombs, it hits too many people, all right? So that's why I'm always talking in code. But regardless, though, what I'm telling you is I believe he's been throttled. All right. So Shiba Inu's lead developer, this isn't just hype, it's innovation. All right. So a card game is in the works. And this card game called Shiluminati is going to have a company behind it. And this company is going to try to take on Hasbro type monopolies out there. I forgot the name of the other one, but this isn't just a run of the mill project. Everything that has to do with Shiba Inu and Shaitoshi Kusama has many layers. And I believe that might be part of the problem, believe it or not, which is, I believe, a good problem to have, because if we're this advanced right now, at the end of the day, people will eventually catch up. Because whether they understand what Shaitoshi is talking about, the levels that he's discussing, when he talks about, like I keep bringing up to you guys, Madame Helen Blavatsky, or when he talks about Albert Pike, okay, these are individuals that you guys need to study a little bit to understand a deeper context to history and really understand the levels of the shadow cats that we're battling. Okay, the types of levels that are unseen, they're behind cloaked daggers and behind closed doors. Okay, so all right, with that, let me just tell you, this is one of the projects that I see as the light. There isn't too many out there. So once again, that's why I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna cover any of these S coins, all right, all these dookie poo coins, because some of the poo coins at the end of the day end up hurting the community. I myself have felt bad because sometimes I'd cover like a risky play, letting people know, not financial advice. This is a risky play. Do not get in if you don't have money to lose. Anything you put in, consider it lost. I'm not telling you what to do. Financial advice, right? Not financial advice. And then, of course, those risky plays, those are the ones that would get the views for some reason. Everyone wants to ape into the early risky plays. But when you're telling them Shiba Inu, bone, leash, sometimes they're like, well, it's not too risky. It's not too sexy. It's not, it doesn't give me gamble vibes. You know, I don't know. I need something more gambly. And these are the people that end up getting wrecked. All right. So I can't personally tell anyone what to do. Once again, like I keep repeating, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm only telling you what I would do if I was you. Not telling you what to do. I'm only telling you what I would do if I was you. All right, cool. With that said, so they sent it to Satoshi Kusama. This play had literally nothing to do with him. Somebody launched this play on Pump Fund. That's why if you look at the contract, the contract is actually, it says pump in there. And I guess every contract that comes out of Pump Fund has that pump situation. In the contract, it says pump. So it says this isn't just hype, it's innovation. A card game is in the works, and I told you everything that Satoshi Kusama has multiple levels to it. So when I tell you that they're trying to make a company to battle with Hasbro and get this game, this card trading game, into Walmart, Target, etc. This isn't just, okay, we're gonna sell it on a website. No, this is a professional marketing strategy that is being developed and rolling out. I've seen a bunch of the cards. They selected the first, I think, 50 something. Don't quote me on that. Check my video. I did a video on Saitoshi's play, the Shion, not Saitoshi's play, the play dedicated to, in honor of Satoshi Kusama. This one right here called Shy on Solana. My bad. I drank some water and got my throat all messed up. Give me 1 second. All right, let's hope that helps. Let me drink some more water. All right, I'm back. So anyway, so I hope that explains why this right here. Okay, so the game is in the works and the visuals are already out. This project is moving fast. So you can see these in the you can see it in the Telegram. Okay, you can see it in the Telegram. So if you haven't seen the cards, swing to the Telegram. There's a section in there that talks about the cards, right? So, and you can see the pictures, and they're bangers too. I regret not being able to participate in making them because some of them are super important, and even the cards are trying to expose some of the truths. So that's all I'm gonna say. If you want to know more, go ahead and check it out or watch my video. All right. Satoshi received 500 million Shy, $2 million value, and burned it all. Now only 500 million tokens remain. Scarcity, real utility, and a community that's ready to explode. And here you have Satoshi, who's basically symbolized as a cloaked figure. You know, of course, you see the Shiba Inu in the background. There's going to be a couple, including a limited edition card set, as far as I have understood. All right, cool. So it says, we serious ape about Shy. Do you think we stop? Hell no. Shy Vision. Shy is the only real project on Sol. All right, well, let's see what Shy is doing because everything was tanking, right? But I believe there is a bounce. Look at this. Not too bad at all. And if you guys actually, the funny thing is, you see this circle right here? Let me see. Are you guys seeing this? You see this circle right here? If you guys actually were watching my live, I went ahead and said this was a point of confluence, an inflection point. This point of confluence right here between the top resistance and the lower support was a place to get in. I told you guys it looked extremely bullish. Now today it dipped like 46% but of course you guys see that Bitcoin itself is at like 78 right now. All right. So it's still battling. It could still wick down. I really don't see it wicking down anymore. But if it does, remember, I told you guys about 73,000 to 68 is the bottom range I see. Now, if there is some kind of economic collapse, right? The lowest that I see it going is actually, once again, these trend lines, they were here before Trump and they are going to be here after Trump, most likely going back down, but eventually they will come back. All right. And you see these right here. All right. I see this right here. So let me just extend this over here. Let me just extend this over here real quick and extend this one over here. Because it looks like I have two right here. So that means that right now, the absolute lowest I can see is 65. So you see right here, we have a point of confluence too now that could potentially be forming if this starts trailing down right here. So this could absolutely hit this. I doubt it though. But if it does lose 76.5, as some experts are saying, and loses 73, expect 65. Honestly, expect 65. But once again, by then, if it does that, you guys should have a little liquidity in order to not only buy this, but the next dip. Okay, just keep that in mind. So once again, when Bitcoin goes down, because a lot of plays are tied to Bitcoin. In other words, a lot of Ethereum is paired with Bitcoin. Okay, so when Bitcoin goes down, Ethereum tends to go down as well. That's why the charts kind of almost mimic themselves. Like, for example, you see this big wicks down, right? All right, well, now let's look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu at 4 zeros, 11, 12. Crazy. Because actually, I thought it was going to be the other way. You see right here where this breakout, I saw this breakout way back over here in November 24. Look at this. Literally this break. I called this breakout because of Trump, obviously. I knew it was going to, but boom, that channel, as expected, SHIB breakout. Then, of course, there's tariffs. There's all kinds of uncertainty. We see that the market is going down. Of course, there hasn't been liquidity being released. There hasn't been any cuts by the Federal Reserve. There was a pump fake, basically, in my opinion, to help the Biden administration. But other than that, I don't see why it hasn't already happened. But we see this right here. Boom. Up. So this could be it. Once we zoom out, this actually could be a double dip. Boom, comes back up, boom, and then does the same thing that happened over here. It goes over here, goes right, breaks 13, comes back, and then once it hits that around April 25th or so, all right, that's what this is showing right now. Once again, not financial advice. I'm just telling you, I'm just reading the chart. I'm just reading the chart for you guys. It looks like a potential double bottom. It doesn't, once again, unless there's some kind of collapse, I don't see this going down. But if it does happen to go down, like I told you guys, this is an opportunity right now to capture a lot of dips. All right, these are discounts, these are blessings in disguise. So if you go ahead and do that, because I thought, once again, I thought this was a dip and SHIB breakout was going to happen. There was a SHIB breakout actually that did occur, and I don't know, that looks like that. But if you actually, for some reason, this does that. I don't know what's up with Dex tools. It looks like that, but this was actually pointing at this. It was actually pointing at this before it did this and came back down over here. But once again, though, if this was the dip and it looked like a breakout, there was a breakout to, look at this, 1560 before it retraced, right? And it's looking like it's going to double bottom. And if it does double bottom, like I'm telling you guys, it might trade sideways. And before it starts to do that, comes back down, comes back up slowly. The only difference I see is the Federal Reserve buying treasury bonds, because in my opinion, and of course not financial advice, but in my opinion, Trump is trying to crash the economy to force the Federal Reserve's hand. All right, keep in mind, he doesn't really care. What he wants to do is he wants to pump his own bags. It doesn't matter the cost. All right, so there's going to be maximum pain, unfortunately, for the poorest individuals out there. All right, those that are most exploited, those that unfortunately don't have any crypto. All right, they're going to be dealing with inflation, crazy inflation. All right, that, and the thing is that inflation is what pumps our bags. That's what's crazy about this situation. All right, that it is directly tied to that. All right, cool. So this is once again Shiba Inu, and of course I'm showing you Shiba Inu. Why? Because Bitcoin is dipping. And when Bitcoin dips, Ethereum dips. And when Ethereum dips, all the Ethereum ecosystem, because itself, you see up here, you see how SHIB is tied to wrapped Ethereum. So when ETH goes down, like it's down today, it's at 1567, $1,567.34 for one Ethereum. It's down 13.2%, okay, continues to dip. That actually affects the price because this is now going down. And SHIB, because it's tied to that, it's also going down because it's paired to that, okay? So that's what's happening. Now, one good sign is it's only down 17.66%, which means people are buying that dip, okay? All right, let's go ahead and check out let's go ahead and check out. Oh, did we check out? Yeah. Hold on. Let's go ahead and check out Bone real quick. All right. So here we are. Bone at 23.38, down 15.43. You see, Ethereum down 13.2, Bone down 15.43. These prices are prices of a lifetime. When we're talking about Bone at 23 cents, we're talking about some of the most advanced technology, some of the most advanced cryptocurrency. And this is not just any token. This is a coin. This is a coin, Bone coin. All right. Because it's a blockchain native token. And blockchain native tokens are coins. All right. That's why it's Bitcoin. And Ethereum, although it is an altcoin, that's why it's an altcoin. It's not a token. All right. Solana, altcoin. Polygon, altcoin. Pepe, token. And I think they're trying to make a blockchain, but token. You have dog with hat token. You have all these on top, scrolling on top. Token, Kokoro, which is one that's been moving as well. Token. You got on what is the? Anyways, let's go ahead and continue to see what Lucy SHIB actually has said, and then we'll check out. Oh, and once again, yeah, this is Shy, the Shy, and they keep the same situation. Shy on Solana will be a top contender with Satoshi Kusama leading the way. Shy on Solana has special things in the works. Solana isn't ready for My buy today, easy. Shy, this is March 23. Here's why I'm stacking 500 million max supply, no inflation games. Backed by Satoshi Kusama, a proven leader, not just hype. Community powered hashtag Shy Army is real and growing daily. Upcoming physical card game, not just crypto, a movement. Positioned to be 2025's breakout star. This isn't just a buy, it's a life changing opportunity. I actually do believe that is true. Not just a coin, a card game, a community joint, Shy on Solana, ticker Shy, buy the legend, some. Let's keep it going. All right, this is, like I said, the pump. So 7D1, and it finishes with EP6 pump. That is the official contract in case you want to dabble in. Not financial advice, but if you do have any Solana or any Solana plays, honestly, any Solana plays, I would get rid of them. Not financial advice, and I would ape into Shy on Solana. Not financial advice, but full disclosure, I think that's one of the Solana plays that you can't miss. You cannot miss out on Shy on Solana, in my opinion. All right, of course, not financial advice. All right, I am biased, and what full disclosure, I am a holder. All right, I did buy high. All right, I did buy high. Not gonna front, but what I will say is that even though I did buy high, um, I'm comfortable with it because keep in mind this play is I think I got in at like 4 million market cap or something, and it dipped. I'm not gonna look, it dipped. This thing dipped on my out. And keep in mind, I think I bought did I buy up here? No, I think I bought this one up here. One of these, or actually was it? Oh shit, it might have been like up here. I think it was one of these. I thought it was like a dip and got absolutely wrecked. All right, and then you know how it is. Thing is going up, and that thing just keeps like over here. I saw it coming down. I tracked them regardless. That's what these are. These are all time capsule little. I'm like, oh, maybe. And yeah, this one though is very kind to technical analysis. I will say that very kind to technical analysis, like uh corrupt fund on Shibarium. So here you have the play moving up. Here, let me move this up. Boom, coming over here, breaking out from this one. First one, let me see, am I sharing that? Sometimes I forget to share. Boom, broke out. That's good. I actually thought this was coming up. I don't know why this is so big. It's got to be smaller. But anyways, and nope, it actually kept breaking down. This sometimes it's good to know the trend is your friend. Don't go against the trend. If you see it going down, don't try to keep timing it. If you take a little bite, just understand that if it keeps going down, just wait because it's gonna keep going down, and chances are that when it dips, it's not going to bounce back to the level where you bought it. So just understand that. So you'll have enough time. Give it a day or two, man. And then you'll be like, all right, cool, DCA again. But understand the trend though. All right. Understand the trend. If it dipped like this, understand here, it's gonna hit that, it's gonna keep bouncing. So this right here would still need to flip that resistance into support. Of course, no, it did not. It lost it. Boom, big sells. Because there is some big whales in this. They will tell you that. If you even look at the score, I don't think it's a 99. Oh, it is a 99. All right, well, that's one of the warnings I got when I checked it. When I checked it, it did give me that warning. All right, so boom, coming down. So once it actually flips this resistance into a support, you have to understand what the floor was before too. What were the previous lows? Where did it touch? And here it is. Boom, it dipped. So now this becomes the resistance or floor. Okay, this is what it should fight, because once it stops going down or up, the natural course of events is that if it's a solid play that is consolidating, okay, very important. If it is consolidating, that means that there is going to be sideways movement. Whether it goes up or down, it should follow a trajectory in that, okay? And even if it does pretend to break or flip, understand that it's going to flip back a lot of times, especially if it's an early play. All right. And you saw if once the tariffs were mentioned, and keep in mind it was April 2nd, that the tariffs hit over here. April 2nd. Boom, boom. Although this one started moving, this was one of the only plays that actually started moving on that. That was actually kind of banger. Actually, I forgot about that. All right, so here it is. And once again, I said probably nothing, but I did think I was wrong on this. I did think that it was going to keep coming down. But when tracking conservatively, the resistance and the support, all right, quickly you understand that this right here became a point of confluence and it actually started moving up. But what did it move to? It moved to the previous floor. All right. And here it is. Boom, move, 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 move until it got some movement, some momentum and started moving. I did a stream about here. It's the second to last one. And if you did get in, congratulations. If you didn't get in, I believe this is the second best opportunity. In fact, let me go ahead and quickly just because this is the dip right here. All right, this is the dip right here. I believe this is the dip right here. So depending on, in fact, you know what? Let me delete that. Let me just. Wow, let's see. Honestly, I'm up. This I believe this is the dip right here. So and we're talking here. All right. So let's see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. All right. So I think this is a great entry at 55. 51. Did this lose? It went all the way down to about 5,000. Right now it's at 5,205,559, down 37.21. It was down 46, so it could still go down. But honestly, I don't really see this one going down right now because it does have a strong community. And keep in mind, this is where it was on March 31st when I did that stream. I think I did it March 31st or April 1st. All right, cool. With that said, I think I've spoken enough about it. Let me go ahead and show you it's at 2.77 million. I believe the actual floor for this one is, well, right now that it's at 55, I would go with 55. But I thought it was at 206 once it looks like it's going to gravitate towards 6, in my opinion, and maybe go sideways from there. Could dip back down before it starts shooting back up. And I do believe it's going to shoot back up because look at this trajectory right here. All right. So absolutely, I believe it could be a penny pretty soon. Right now, it's practically half a cent. All right. Not financial advice, not telling you what to do, just telling you what I would do if I was you. All right, cool. Market cap 2.77 million, liquidity $299,000, circulating supply 499.96 million SHI tokens. Total market cap the same as the market cap because everything is out already. 100% is the percent circulating supply. Total transactions over 100,000. So holders 7,360. 24-hour volume 222,000. Volatility at 0.7392. Actually, that is very important because that means that this token can actually explode up to. I was looking at a lot of the cells from here, and a lot of the cells here are 100% out of the play. I saw about 3 of them. One of them sold like 10,000 SHI token, $10,000 worth of SHI token. That's crazy. But if you see right now, the last transactions are buys, buy, $11 sell, then a buy, $234 buy, $12.87 sell, $12.49 sell, $100 buy. So once again, you see in the last 6 hours up 6.93%, last 7 days up 60.27%, 60.27%, and of course it was down 46%. earlier when I saw. Now down only 37.21% today. But keep in mind, this was up over 100% at one point went before this huge dip. All right. All right. So cool. With that, let's go ahead and keep going, my people. So that's the Solana play that I'm in right now. I think it's the strongest Solana play out there. I already told you about Bone Shiba Swap at 0.23 cents. Only 23 cents right now. And I believe this one is going to $1. I believe it's going to $5, $10, eventually $50, $100. I believe because of the revolutionary blockchain, which is called Shibarium and is, in my opinion, the most deflationary centric ecosystem that's ever been devised. This one right here is one not to miss. Okay. Just putting that out there for you. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and see what else we got over here. We have, of course, K9 Finance, my people. K9 Finance and Leash. I saw Leash was at $112. If you are part of the Leash army, Leash was at 100 like $12 or $115. So go ahead and get you some of that. All right, cool. If you have been following my channel, you guys know that. Like I tell you, I do these long term. A lot of you guys were like, oh, come on, man. This right here, is it really going to get that low? Man, I told you. I told you. Look at this. Potential bottom still over here. Potential bottom still over here. Don't get fooled. All right. Although I myself, full disclosure, I hold this play right here. And I believe, once again, full disclosure, that you should too. In fact, I believe if you don't hold this play, it's probably a big mistake. This play right here is called K9 Finance. It's a DAO. If you don't know what a DAO is, it is a decentralized autonomous organization. Okay. In other words, people can put in proposals. There are people that participate. Every holder of this token, K9, can vote in a proposal on their platform through Snapchat. No, not Snapchat. Through Snapshot. Excuse me. Through Snapshot. And they can also write proposals. Now, there also is a whale room. The whale room requires that you have a total of 400 million K9 Finance tokens, which go by the name of K9. All right, this name right here. All right. The market cap is at $1.18 million, extremely low. This one, in my opinion, is, I normally don't say this. I normally don't say this because I don't really like to cap. But this one is one of the only ones that I believe is an actual 1,000x minimum. This one is between a 1,000 and a 10,000x. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't like to cap, but I love to give you guys alpha. If you guys haven't heard about this play, I'm putting you on it. And I'm going to tell you something. I've been tracking this. You see these descending channels down here? I knew this was going to keep going down. I told you guys way back over here, boom, boom, boom. I thought this was a potential fake out, but then I'm like, no, this is the channel. Boom. And it dipped down, broke it, came back down. Always trust what the chart is telling you. Don't try to tell the chart that there is a bull market right now. All right. Your browser has lost connection to screen share audio. Wait a minute. All right. So I don't know if you guys could hear me, but it's just I got a warn thing about restart my browser if this continues. Can you guys hear me? Can I get a dub in the chat, I guess, as you young streamers say? As you young cool streamers say, All right, if you can hear me. But let me go ahead and go through some of these comments real quick before I get back to talking about K9 Finance, which I'm telling you is one of the most banger plays. All right. So it says Niels had it again. Idiots that voted for him are now paying the price. Bone will go as low as 15. I hope it does, bro. If it does, my God, it could. It 100% could go to 15 if it actually double bottoms. First dip of the double bottom being the first bottom being 19, I think, or 17 cents. The second one being 15. Opportunity of a lifetime. If you guys are able to catch that, if you guys, in fact, if you could put a buy sale, a buy option on Bone at those prices, I think you guys would be 100% guaranteed profit. Not financial advice. All right. So food with here, and actually, let me put that right there. I do agree. Let's see. The next one says, Crypto Mark says, please drop the link to your Telegram in your bio. Damn, you're right. I need to. All right. I keep saying I'm gonna do it. And Dave D actually was he's the only one in there right now, actually, that he's one of the admins in there. I need to make some of you guys the admins as well, because there's some of you riders over here. Baja, Casey, that I actually trust. The one thing is the way it's done. I did that one doesn't feel right though, because if you guys comment, it says Crypto Marxist or Bone Army. So I'm technically not saying it, but it says that I am, because it's showing the exact same thing. So that's the one thing I don't like, because if something is shared by me, I want it to be by me. If something is said by you guys, it'd be dope for it to come from you guys, because you guys are the admins and people actually trust you guys. So you know what? I'm going to try to thank you for asking, Food with Ty. I appreciate you for asking that. I'm going to try to do that and see if, let me go ahead and make a note right here, because I make little notes to myself as well, because if not, if you guys don't make notes to yourself, you guys will forget. Straight up. Just take that as a little advice from me. All right. Here, let me take this off. All right. So with that, I will definitely do that. Add it to my bio, and also need to update. Let me go ahead and put this over here. Update YouTube, because honestly, my YouTube low key kind of ass. My YouTube channel is kind of like, if you go to the main channel, is what I mean. Not my actual channel. My actual channel is banger. Okay, like the content. If you guys just follow half of the plays, if you guys, in fact, I need to put my wallet out there. Put my damn wallet out there. So when you guys become rich, you guys can slide some of that back. Like, you know what? Thank you right here. Anyways, but my point is, I will definitely hit you guys with that and have to update my YouTube. All right. All right, cool. So let me see. So thank you for that. All right. I will definitely do that. And maybe, you know what? Food's been coming through. I kind of trust food. I don't know what you guys think of food, but food with AI definitely got to join. So definitely got to invite him. So I definitely want you in that Telegram group. If we're going to build a Telegram community, and not only that though, if we can do it and have, because see, I would have an alpha channel. See, the channels aren't done right. That's another thing too that gets me mad. And they're so soft. You go in and you say, you know what, you guys should do this, or maybe you should do that. And then a lot of these developers take it all personal. Or let's say you say, oh, the chart crashed today. If the chart crashed today and someone says the chart crashed today, why would they ban them, or why would they, oh, don't be negative? Like, the chart crashed. Buy opportunity, you know? So anyways, with that, let's go ahead and say, so, all right, I'm good. I appreciate you. Baha. The funny thing is that I just saw that right now, which means that if I was talking to myself, I would have been talking to myself the whole time without even knowing it. And then nobody would have said anything. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. All right, Casey. Will the rest of K9 supply be released this month? No, it will not be. In fact, you know what? Here, thank you for asking. You guys, if you guys ask questions, I will try to answer them while I'm here. I already went over the hour I was going to do. All right. I'm just going to say that right now. If you guys are appreciative of this live, what I will tell you to do is no, now I'm not going to tell you to subscribe to me. You thought I was going to tell you to subscribe to me? Nah, bro. I'll give a thanks to Baja, actually, because he's the one that suggested it. He said, you know what? People do it when it's pumping. You know what? It's a crash. Maybe you should get on and just be positive. And I'm like, I really don't need too much to be positive because I believe this is an opportunity. All right. And if you guys capitalize on it, you guys are gonna be looking kind of nice. That's all I'm gonna say. So this is what it's looking like right now. You see this line, you see here, let me move it. So you see the top of this blue, you see this blue portion right here. This is what's vesting, right? But that means that all this up here, the very top of that is a supply. All right, that's all of it. It's actually the very top. You can't see it actually. So it's above the blue. It's all of it. Okay. So this is when it launched. And you can see it launched last year around March. Actually, it looks like it around March 7th with 20%. And you see these steps right here indicate that hold up, which question is the one I have? Let me go ahead and hit this right here so people understand what I'm talking about. All right. So this right here, these steps is every single time that an unlock occurred. So you see the percentage on the very left. So you see Vessi 75.9, but I want you to focus on the unlock. All right. Unlock 24.1%. That means that only 24.1, excuse me, percent, 24.1% was unlocked at the time. All right. So now out of the total, that means that there still needed to be over 75.9% that was basically going to come into circulation. I don't want to say it was going to be dumped on you, but you can kind of look at it as a circulation dump or a supply dump on you. All right. But this allows you guys to also reposition yourself if you are following my channel. I said it from the beginning. I'm like, I know it's going to dip. I'm going to buy because I have FOMO. If you guys listen to the very first one, I literally tell you guys, I'm like, I'm buying because I have FOMO. I know this is going to go down. And of course, why did I know it was going to go down? Because, and if you don't believe me that I thought it was going to go down, go back to some of those videos where I'm literally over here telling you guys, because if you go in here and you see there's actually, you can't really see it because it's like so small. But if you come way back over here, back to March, look, back to March, day of, I did a live covering the launch. All right. So I've been knowing this. I'm telling you. All right. And I told you if this doesn't get traction with some centralized exchanges, most likely this thing is going to keep going down. And look, boom. The one thing about this is my entry points and then exiting and then getting back lower and all that allowed me to maximize my bag to where I have it now. So that's what you guys should be doing. Anyways, I saw it going down, big channel going down. Then I saw more channel. Oh shit, no. Fuck. No bueno. All right. And then here, let me move this up. And then I saw, damn, this shit was lower. I don't know what the fuck happened here. All right, cool. And then this other channel coming down right here. Let me maximize it because it's so low because the market cap is so small. When the market cap is low, it looks like a flat line. And you have to basically zoom in to catch it. But basically, you see these channels going down. And this is the main channel, this yellow one that I want you guys to really focus on from right here. From way back in May 24, almost a year back. Look at this. Let you guys know where it was going. And if you actually go to that video where I did this, I did it before this actually, all this right here. So all this just filled in. All right, I gave you guys that dip. I told you the dip was going to come over here, that once it hit this was the dip opportunity. And I'm telling you that this right here is still going to dip. Most likely it's going to dip around down here. Potential bottom. Why do I believe that? Because, and it's going to keep doing that between May and around June. And you see how it tapers off right here? Why do I have it all the way tapering off over here? That's kind of weird. Crypto Marxists, why do you, Bone Army, why do you have it tapering off around May, June? Well, young Padawan, if you come back over here, answering KC's question is, and keep in mind, look, boom, kept dumping on you, but how? 474.9 and it went to 69.7. So that was about over 5%. Over 5%. And then another over 5%. So basically every month or so there's a 5. So people are like, why does it keep dumping? Why aren't we doing marketing? Like, you should see the whale, and the whales are supposed to be the ones with a bunch of money, right? Because there's super whales in there, right? Right? And they're like, why? We should do this. We should do that. We should advertise. We should ban. They literally banned a trading bot. Like, what is wrong with these people, bro? Like first of all, we want volume, and if it's dumping, I mean, whether it's a bot or not, think about it. Well, if bots are the problem, well, they should make bots to counter that, anyways. That's one of the plays that really did disappoint me with the DAO. But the DAO, you can't blame the project for the DAO. The DAO is, like I said, in my opinion, kind of beta. All right, I'm going to throw it out there. They're not as alpha as they should be. Like, if I was in charge of that DAO, and I'm not in the DAO, I maybe next time there's an open position, I'll jump in there just to give a voice of dissent, because it almost seems, and I've been in organizations where, I'm not saying this is happening, but I've been in organizations where the leader or the CEO or the executive director, or in this case, a dev or founder or one of the advisors might say something, and some of the weaker people might just go along with it without questioning it. And in my opinion, if you're part of the Bone Army, like I know you are, you already slapped that like, you already subscribed, you already commented hashtag to the moon. I already know you did that, and you shared it, right? But what I was going to say is, if you are part of the Bone Army, part of the Treat Army, you question everything. Question everything. If you're not questioning everything, then you're basically like a zombie in this world. And there's this one historian called Howard Zinn. Rest in peace. One of my favorite historians, wrote an amazing book that if you don't have, I suggest you buy it. I suggest you buy it. Grab a pen, grab your phone, write it down. It's called A People's History of the United States. And what this book does is it explains how the United States came about from a perspective of the most oppressed peoples in this country, whether it's the African slaves, or before that, the Native Americans, or after that, the Chinese, or, et cetera, et cetera. Right now, you already know what's happening with our homie Ma, to the Mood, to the Ka, to the Lil. You already know. So anyways, all right, to answer your question, is it about to finish? No, it's actually going to keep going till April 2026. That's when 100% of everything is going to be unlocked, right? But that doesn't mean that, okay, it's going to keep tanking towards then. No. You see how big this step was, the very first step? Boom, the very first step was the largest step, 24.4. After that, it was a tiny step, right? But then look at these, we're about 5 steps, 5% steps, 5%, a little over, give or take 5%, 5%, right? 5%. Well, this one was 5.3. This one was 5.2. All All right. And these are just happening right now. Look at the dates. February 22nd, right here was March 1st. Boom, dropped another 5%. And you see the unlock keeps going up. All right. I want you to see that. Unlock keeps going up. We needed to get to 100% in order for everything to be unlocked and in circulation. All right. And even if not in circulation, out. Okay. Because, of course, things are going to be locked, but there's going to be a circulating supply. And even if it's locked, that actually helps the price because that pulls even more tokens out of circulation. And you already know that every ecosystem partnership in Shibarium linked to Shiba Inu is going to burn tokens. This is the most hyper deflationary mechanism that's ever been devised for a blockchain ecosystem. And that is literally what's about to start unfolding. People don't see it. It's okay. Everybody that knows what's happening, and I'm not saying I'm one of those people, I'm a nobody, but I do know macroeconomics. And what I'm telling you is that once the stable coin legislation is out and people start dropping stable coins, including Shiba Inu, when they drop SHI, then you guys will understand the power of the ecosystem and how it actually works together. I already see what's happening. And what I'm going to tell you is this. Imagine Terra Luna. Imagine the USTD. And now what happened? How was that ecosystem a symbiosis in price appreciation? That's all. I'm gonna leave it right there for you guys. If you guys know what I'm talking about, then you guys know that Shiba Inu can 100% reach 1 penny. Just throwing it out there, and it's not for market cap. Oh, it has to be at 100 trillion market cap. No. That's not right. We're talking fully diluted. You're wrong. Sorry. Try again. Learn tokenomics. Anyways, so KC, my bad. This is a long-winded answer. All right, so look, we're 77.4. Well, guess what just happened at April 1st on April Fools? Well, come back over here. Let's check the price. Now, it doesn't mean that the price effectively dumped that day. In fact, what happens is normally there's a pump. There's like a fake out pump that occurs. I mentioned it actually the last stream. And this pump normally has people buying in, but as the tokens come, basically, this pump allows a final liquidity dump to capture a little bit more because the tokens are going to keep coming out. And what does that mean? Well, that means that 197 is the total market cap. Well, look, this is actually related to the price. That's right. Look, 195, 197. Well, the price is going to continue to dip as this market cap is at 1.18, meaning that this, if the tokens keep dipping, all right, it should get close to 118. It's not going to get that low. It might get to 15 though. I'm just letting you guys know. But if you guys are DCAing right now, understand that once that occurs, then once the bull run actually happens, and why do I have this over here? Well, look, let's go back now. Let's go back to Dune Analytics, all right? And look at this. So now we have 77.4, and then we have, boom, 82.6. That means that now there's less than 18% that's going to be unlocked. But look at this. Look at this. And look at the size of these steps, though. I want you to look at the size of these steps. Look, boom, 5%, right? But look what happens right here in May. Well, look at here. You have the last 5. In fact, this is 82.6. 82.6 to 86. 82.6. So actually you have a 4 5.3, not even a 5%, a little under. This is, see, a little under, actually, not even a 5 if my math is right. Is my math right, people? 82.6. So you got 83, 84, 85, 86.3. Yeah, 4.3. All right, you have 4.3, less than 5% on this step. And then look at the rest of the steps. Look at the rest of the steps. You have 2.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1.1, 1%. Actually, it dips right here at November of 25 of this year, where we might be peaking. It dips to 1%, 1%, 1.1, 1 point. So yeah, all right. So basically, full supply expected by April 26, 2026. Full unlock 100%. Okay. So when this happens, so on April 26th, whenever or a little after, whenever they decide to fully release it, that is when this right here, the market cap and the total market cap are going to be the same. Okay. And that right there is going to be something extremely bullish, because you guys know that means that a lot of the circulation is going to be burning out of existence. Once everything is out, circulation can only go down. Where right now we are in a position where circulation, supply, the total supply and the circulating supply are basically working towards coming together. So the circulating supply is going to keep coming out. Like I told you guys, at about 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%, until it starts dipping, and then it's finally at 1, and then it's fully out. By then, it's good. This right here is also going to say 999.59 billion tokens, the same market cap, same total market cap, and then this say total supply, circulating supply, and it's only going to go down because there's going to be projects that are also going to burn K9 finance. All right, I know that was long-winded, but I hope that explains the answer, Casey. All right, let me see. Bone. Let me see. Let me go ahead. It says Bone is like ETH at 20 cents. Generational wealth, peeps. Imagine the prices when the UAE starts using the tech. I agree. Crypto Marxist knows the NWO. Absolutely. If you guys really want to know, I suggest that you guys get a couple of books. One of them is by a guy called David Icke. And it's called And the Truth Shall Set You Free. And that one is an absolute banger. Another one is by William Cooper. I'm going to put these down here, actually. That's how important I see these, man. One is And the Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. The other one is Behold a Pale Horse. Yeah. If you guys could only own a couple of books to understand what's going on, I suggest you guys cop these. All right, guys. So I said 1 hour. It's about 1 hour 39. I'm going to quickly run through a couple more of these and then I'm going to call it. But if you guys are new to my channel and appreciate my content, go ahead and share it, my people. Go ahead and give that like. All right, cool. So that is in response to that. I put them up there. This is one of them. And the Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. The other one is Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. Those are banger books, all right? You know the Bone Army, the SHIB Army, Shibarium Army definitely is about books over here, all right? So Thank you, sir. So sleep burn. It says CM, what's cracking, big dog? Yo, question. You think bone is going to dip harder? Trying to see when I'm gonna go in another 5K. Just need to see when the bottom is looks like it's 23 cents. I think it looks like 23 cents. The maximum bottom, if there is some kind of collapse, which they're trying to manipulate, I'm telling you, they're trying to crash the economy on purpose. It might be between 19 and 15 cents, bro. I know it sounds crazy, but just because it might be a flash and then, so I would say put a buy. I would say not financial advice, but 23 is pretty damn low, bro. So 23 to 19 cents looks like the range. Yeah, absolutely. I say that's a safe range because you also don't want to be like, oh, 15 and then miss it. You know, oh, I said it too low. All right. It says, my bad just got in the chat. My bad just got in the chat. No worries, broski. Thank you for coming. There's a lot of sissy lalas in the whale canine chat. They get super offended, bro. Bro, I know. I hate that. And I don't know if it's because some of them are older. I don't know if some of them are just, but honestly, I mean, I haven't even been in it in a minute, but I do like the chat. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't like the just like you're saying, there's a lot of sissy lalas in the chat. There's a lot of sissy lalas in the DAO. So maybe we need to try to slide into the DAO, you know, form a voting block ourselves. Because honestly, the one thing that did irk me and still does bother me is that banning of the bot. It's such a sissy lala move. I'm gonna start using that one instead of calling them little peas, little pussies. All right, cool. Let me go. Next one. All right, so it says food with AI. The sales tax on canine is the only thing I don't like. That's another thing too. They raised it to 5. Why are they? First of all, I've seen people complain about that because they want to buy some, but they, you know, they also want the freedom to be able to move out. You know, why would he try to cap, you know, someone selling or try to punish someone for getting out of the play if they want to get out of the play? Like, your play should be strong enough. And like I said, there's going to be people like me that understand the tokenomics. So even if people sell right now, I'm telling you, I'm staking Canine Finance on the Canine Finance DAO platform, the LSD platform. By doing that, I get bone. So because of that, I get my bone. I sell the bone into Canine practically every day, every other day. So I'm DCAing into Canine every day. Now, can I wait for bone to go up to then get more? Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just DCAing, taking the opportunity, taking bone, which I believe is a 100 to 1000x, not financial advice. And then what I'm doing is I'm converting that 100 to 1000x and I'm buying Canine Finance DAO's token. And I'm converting once again the bone, which is a 100 to 1000. And I'm converting it to Canine, which I believe is a 1000 to 10,000. That's right. 1,000 to 10,000. That's how this is a liquid staking derivatives platform. People understand how big this is. All right. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting you on my game. All right. Now, whether you do that or not, look, I can only lead a horse to water, can't make you drink. All right. But that's what seems like perfect sense to me. All right. That's a smart move. Any news on when the stable coin comes out? First of all, they're going to wait for legislation. Once the legislation is fully out there for stable coins, what you're going to see is there's going to be a rush of new companies, including one that Donald Trump and his sons are involved in, something called USD1, which I think he's trying to make like the official token of the United States or something, or one of the most reputable stable coins, because the only way they can actually save the dollar is through crypto. All right. And they have to tie it through stable coins and put Bitcoin in, once again, tokenizing. So once the tokenization of things come and you see that the rulers of the world, I'm not talking about people with millions or even billions. I'm not even talking about Jeff Bezos. I'm not talking about Elon. I'm talking about the real owners of the world, the secret cabal out there. What they plan on doing is they plan on guaranteeing that things like Ondo Finance and the tokens they select are the ones that are leading the tokenization process. Okay, so that's why they're moving into some of these. Ondo is one of the main ones that has been pushed by Larry Fink. If you don't know who Larry Fink is, just understand that the odds are stacked against us, but we are never out. We're never giving up. All right. I'm about to let me run a couple more. Let me run a couple more in case you guys haven't already subbed. You already know what to do, my people. All right. There's this, I have this dope sweater on right now too. This dope little sweater. It's a Charlie Brown one. You guys really can't see it, but it basically says, "No one is going to give you the education you need to overthrow them." All right. So remember that no one is going to give you the education you need to overthrow them. So you need to educate yourself. You need to make sure that you're able to slide in to some of these plays before the whales, the trillionaires, the billionaires are basically getting into the point that, like, I fear now, they have so much power and money that they are now ultra manipulating everything. But all you have to do is to DCA, and guess what? You can sell on their ass. That's right. You can actually sell on their ass. You can't do that with dollars. You cannot do that with dollars because if you're holding dollars, you're falling behind. All right. Understand that. Understand the game. Understand that crypto is the hedge against inflation. Okay. All right. Food with AI. Also, the SHIB magazine NFTs will be huge once the Shiba State forms. Keeping getting them. They are free. Absolutely. If you haven't already subscribed to the SHIB magazine, I suggest you definitely do that because that is free ROI. All right. Another tip I'm gonna give you guys if you made it this far, because I'm about to shut this down. I said 1 hour and I'm already about to reach 2. I don't even know how far I am. Damn, 13 minutes. All right. So shit, what the fuck is it? All right, cool. So one tip I'm gonna give you. You see the price right now? Oh damn, I don't know if you guys could see the price because my little Shiboshi is over there up in the way, actually, I think. Hold up, my bad. Let me see. All right. So 1945, 1947 is the price, right? Well, that's only on Ethereum though. You know what you can do? If you want a discount sometimes, go ahead and check the price on Shibarium too, because you can actually have a discount. Right now, it's 1846 in Shibarium. Okay. So you can go ahead and let me go ahead and take off this real quick because it's blocking. Blocking. Yeah. All right. Oh, if you can get them. That's true. That's very true. All right. So as you can see, same thing, exact same thing going on over here. The one thing is though, look at this. Look at this right here. 100 Satoshi units less. So you could once again buy K9 Finance for 1945, or you can buy some bone, slide it over, stake it on K9 Finance, use the K9, and buy K9 Finance now on Shibarium for 1846. Literally 100 Satoshi units less. All right, that's a little tip I want to give you guys because you can see that this one's only down 5.46. And what you can also do is stack this one. Keep buying this one. Buy it all the way to 1950, then send it over to Ethereum, and you can sell it over here for 1945. You can just wait till this pumps up to about 2050 and then you guarantee your 5. So I'm just saying, just little game right there. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with my favorite AI project called Bad Idea AI. Of course, an official partner of Shiba Inu. 807997. Thing is absolutely tanking. This is, in my opinion, one of, damn, this thing is tanking so beautifully. It's down 20%. That's crazy. Yeah. All right, well, you can see it's in the buy zone. In fact, I'm going to, you already know what I'm going to do, my people. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'm putting this right here. This is a 100% buy. 100% buy. In fact, what's the date? What's the date? It's the 6th. I'm telling you guys right here. Right there. See if that stays there. Sometimes it disappears, but that's my little attempt to put buy on this right here. All right. This is absolutely a buy. Move this over here. Move this over here. This thing is like in pieces. All right, cool. Remember I said this, my people. Can it crash more? Absolutely, it can crash more. Will it? I really don't think so, though. But if it does, it's an absolute buy. There it is. That's a buy right there, my people. Look at this. Crazy 79. That's crazy. All right. This is an official project with Shiba Inu. Okay. 715,000 in liquidity, $5.16 million market cap, $6.64 million total market cap, 829.47 trillion in total supply, while the circulating supply is only 644.47 trillion. Bad idea tokens. Total percent circulating supply is 77.69. If there is big sales, I think especially 20%, but don't be scared though, because what I'm going to tell you is look at some of the other projects. Like, let's just look at the top. All right, Pepe, which is a big project, down 12.27. Kokoro down 21.18. Pepu 14.56, 14.59. Kekias 10.82, 28. Trump, that new one is up, but that's probably a spoof. 14.5, 16.76, 17, 15, 15, 21%. Look at this. Nero down 15.48. Oscar 34.26. MAGA 14.92. And the wrapped staked ETH 15.19%. So when I see this is a juicy buy. Not financial advice, but I personally am looking at this one. Personally looking at, what did I buy today? I got some Shy on Solana. I got some, I'm going to get some K9 because I tell you, I saw my bone get K9. That's my secret right there. All right, put you guys on that one. And look at this one. Look at this one. Treat at bargain level prices at 2.035. The one thing is, I will warn you that this one is also has a lot of circulating supply. So this 35.31, and it has 2 zeros. Eventually, this could be 3 zeros, 35. Okay, because of it has a 4-year supply drop. You know, the circulating supply keeps unlocking over 4 years. So just keep that in mind. But this one is one that I think you should secure. Minimum 100K now that it's cheap. Maybe even 100, a million. I don't know. All right, just not financial advice. All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and quickly see what Lucy is doing, what she's talking about, and then I will call it. All right. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed to Lucy, all right, you know what to do. Hit that. Bye. follow. All right, April 3rd. SHIB is the brand, the face, the movement, the heart of the ecosystem. Bone is the gas, fueling transactions on Shibarium Layer 2. Oh, my bad, I skipped this one. Treat is the tool, powering future utility across Layer 3, rewards, and privacy. Leash is the axis, limited, exclusive, and built for early supporters and VIP utility. Each one plays a role. Together, they power the SHIB ecosystem's full potential. And I would say the Shiboshis are important too, because that is going to be a reward system as well. Just throwing it out there, Shiboshis might be used as AI agents and smart wallets. Putting it out there, you didn't hear from me. All right, so 6 hours ago, just keep going, friends. Good night. Just a bad day is not a bad life. Boom. Don't forget, that is so true. SHIB Finance. What's this about? Let's translate this. It says Shiba Inu's DeFi, SHIB Finance to provide credit-based lending services. Cryptocurrency news media BitTorrent. Was this translation accurate? I don't know. What is this SHIB Finance? I haven't heard about this. It says Shiba Inu's DeFi, SHIB Finance to provide credit-based lending. BitTimes. I'm going to open this one on the side just in case. Maybe if that's true, that's big. All right, because I know they've been doing some stuff in Japan, low-key stuff. I thought they were buying a centralized exchange is what I thought was happening. All right, Shibarium. Markets dip, but we build. Nothing changes. The reversal will come for the strong, like I told you guys earlier. Of course, crypto miners. Shibarium hits 1 billion transactions at Shiba Inu Coins Layer 2 network at Shibarium Net has surpassed 1 billion transactions, marking a major milestone in its evolution beyond meme coin status. Need to buy the dip. Bullish SHIB, bone, leash, and treat. Special SHIB. Picture special SHIB. The market is bloody red, but I was mentally prepared. So I'm having fun with ChatGPT. Instead, I admit I'm addicted. If you've got tips for good prompts, send them my way. The possibilities this opens up are amazing. So she did this to ChatGPT. This is actually banger. This is actually banger. Maybe she should explain how she did this because this is actually banger. All right, cool. Rough market test everyone, but the SHIB ecosystem was forged in chaos. We don't sink. We evolve. Is this laggy? Let me go ahead and just get out of here real quick. It's looking kind of laggy, my people. All right. Here we go. Sunday dump. And of course, there is Masrael in the metaverse, it looks like. And it looks like they added details to the columns. Kind of banger. I'm telling you, this is not the run of the mill. Who's in the metaverse? Not me yet, because I'm stuck over here without that. So Shiba Baby .shib says SHIB bone leash treat hashtag Shibarium. Taro old horse. Wolf swap. Damn. Chica feed doodle pika. Let me see. Not financial advice. So what's this Taro old horse NFT? Oh, okay. Interesting. Breaking news regarding Kitty token just scooped up more bone to boost our NFT Shibarium net liquidity. Due to the recent Ethereum dip, the current mint price is just $119. Great time to grab one while it's discounted and support Ethereum. Wait, what the hell? What in the... Okay. Roar. Collection. Oh, no. All right, cool. So with that, as you guys know, I might be checking out this article right here. I'll be checking out this article right here. All right. You already know. Let me know if you want me to read it in Japanese or if you want me to read it in English. All right. So go ahead and spam English or Japanese in the chat. You guys let me know. Total killer price is now insane. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. All right, let me see. quickly if you can get them, because I've been that thing's been tripping. I have been able to get them on my phone, only on my desktop. All right, so before I log out, it said SHIB Mag has been dropping the ball on the mint function. I agree. Good point, Baha. I noticed that. Yep, 100%. You have to log in on the magazine page to get it, not the SHIB daily page. Bro, I've been trying. Yeah, I figured that out, but still got funked on edition. Yep. Oh, okay. SHIB total killer price is now saying leash price is low. All right. Well, with that said, my people, I appreciate you. Crypto Markets, aka Bone Army, just came at you. Nice little 2-hour stream for you guys, practically. Oh no, it is 2 hours. So I appreciate you guys. You already know what to do. Share this thing, like that thing, subscribe. I go by Crypto Markets, aka Bone Army, just came at you. If you want more, go ahead and go to my channel, check it out. Appreciate all of you guys over here rocking with me. I hope I gave you guys a little value, because it's just so much to give you guys, but don't fret. The discount is here, my people. All right. And like I like to say, I'm Bone Army. You're Bone Army. We're Bone Army. And I'm out. Appreciate y'all. Have a good Sunday. And I'll see you later on this week with more content. You already know. Doses. Bags up.